Are we ready for the first event of the year? Perfect vlog footage.
You're not coming home tonight. There's something running through your veins. Oh, I know that you're not coming home tonight. What are you on?
Best individual day of sales ever, covered all costs for the weekend and then some. I was actually, my table placement was moved last minute, like less than a week to the convention. They were like, oh, actually, you know, there's been some kind of mix up, we need to move your table. But actually worked out in our favor because we were right near the door and there were way more people than I was expecting. Like the most people I've seen at an event, especially like what's essentially an art market. So there was constant flow of people, so many people. I don't know, eat, sleep required.
I lived to fight my battles on my own. Years later now I'm sitting here alone. I don't try to come knocking about my door. I'm afraid that I won't be seeing you no more. What do you own? Where do you go? What do you care?
A few minutes to the end, how are we feeling?
Tired, bed, arm,
You sound so positive.
boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka.
I'm scared. I'm feeling pretty vulnerable. You've taken just a little piece of soul.
Alright, let's talk about KaiCon. I am filming this clip a week later. I've been very exhausted and working, and I did end up sick. Because not only was this the first event of the year, but this weekend was right after the first full week of classes for the year. I do teach full time, and that along with some very hot days where I got heat exhaustion because excessively hot classrooms and meeting spaces, basically. Yeah, all of that is not a fun recipe. But that's not what this is about. KaiCon, my weekend was actually pretty decent. Straight up, this is the most profit I've ever walked away with from an event. In saying that, I'm still doing fairly small numbers, but I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've done 4 events now. This has been the first time ever physically selling my art, and every time I've covered all my costs and in some cases walked away with a small profit. So like, I'm pretty happy, I'm pretty proud of that. As I said, small profit. Saturday was my best single day of sales I've ever done, but the Sunday was my second worst, with the only other time that I've sold less being the Sunday of last KaiCon, which was in November. There was still a lot of people walking around on the Sunday. It's not like it was quiet, but definitely less sales. And I think so that's kind of Sundays often. And just, I did notice the Sunday demographic was a little bit different. Like, I noticed a lot more like young people and teenagers around and things like that. But, that's fine. That is what it is, whatever. But yeah, I did decently for me, right? And I do think placement had something to do with that, because like, I'm sad that I know that a lot of artists didn't have a good weekend, whether that was stuff with the event itself kind of behind the scenes, or also just particularly in terms of like sales and things like that. because there were like 600 tables. And when you've got, 600 plus artists in a single space at a single event, like some artists are going to suffer because of that and aren't going to sell as much. That's a lot. And also just like the exhaustion of walking around an artist alley that large, like most people who came to that event wouldn't have really properly seen every table because there were so many. And I noticed that I was like near a door out the front, so we constantly had people around us. But I know the couple of times I did get away from my table and visited other artists I knew, there were definitely areas that were quieter. So yeah, but as I said, like where we were was pretty consistently busy. Even if people weren't directly at our table, there were constantly people like walking through the aisle, and so there was always that kind of sense that there were people there. So I didn't get away from my table very much over the weekend because of that, but also just because there were so many people around, and I don't really love walking through lots of people and crowds and things, so I didn't really have a big desire to walk around. Like, I know the Game Expo was there with like a game space, and there was Just Dance, and I think there was like a quiet room. I didn't get to visit them at all, and even if I had, I wouldn't have gotten footage because unfortunately my phone is attached to the table as a payment method. I only got some footage last KaiCon because my mum came down and visited, and so when I walked around with her, I used her phone. Maybe like at some point I probably need to look into getting a camera at some point. But yeah, I know it was a mixed experience for other people. I had a pretty good weekend, although the music was really weird. The music was all over the place all weekend. The Saturday was like really quiet, chill, like sleepy music that by the end of the day was a little bit too sleepy. But then the Sunday was all over the place. There was like gaming music, there was K-pop, there was music that sounded like it belonged in a bar, music that sounded like it belonged in a club, random pop music, anime openers. Like, yeah, it was all over the place. My brain was very confused. But yeah, I had a good weekend, particularly just like I've had such positive interactions. Like my only negative interaction throughout the entire weekend was something relatively small, but also just something that got stuck in my brain. But like my father came up with his child and like removed a sticker, like completely removed it from my display to show me which one the kid wanted, even though I'd heard their conversation, so I knew which one the kid wanted. And even the child was like, I don't think you're supposed to do that, so why does your child have more self-awareness than you do? But that was like my only negative interaction over the whole weekend. Otherwise, everyone was lovely. It's something I've been loving about doing these events, getting to talk with so many different people. Like, people will come up to chat to you just because they've seen something at your table that they're really into, especially if something's a bit more niche. Like, I actually sold out of my blind mag prints this weekend, which is the most niche thing at my table, which is also why I didn't have a lot of them printed to begin with. But Blind Mag is from Repo the Genetic Opera, which is a horror musical. So only like a handful of people have ever like noticeably recognized her and talked about her with me, and a few people obviously bought it over the weekend. So those were just really nice interactions. And also I've had some interactions with people now coming back to see me after seeing me at other events, which is really cool, including someone who bought Blind Mag and had a bit of a story about coming back after seeing me in November and seeing me on social media. And I've had so many people come up to me who do follow me online. I do particularly have like a small following on TikTok, so I regularly get people coming up to me saying that they follow me on TikTok and they've seen this or that, and I don't know, it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know, it's just those little really sweet moments of getting to interact with people who have seen your content, who actively follow you, or have just seen you at other art events, think your art's really cool. Like, I've just had so many wholesome interactions, and yet getting to do multiple events now, people coming back, like, it's just, I just go home with so many warm feelings. But also because of other artists, I've got to meet so many other artists, which has been so cool. And like, everyone in the artist alley community has been so like warm and welcoming. Pretty much everyone's been up for a chat, been willing to like share things, wanting you to get involved in things they're doing, like stamp rallies. Like, you know, over the past like 6 months that I've been doing events or whatever, like I've met so many other artists and yeah, just those interactions are really nice as well. And now, you know, getting to see some of the same people at every event and continuing to chat to them and stuff, and like, I don't know why I'm talking so fast today. Maybe I've been watching too much Gilmore Girls. I've been rewatching Gilmore Girls. Actually, I've watched like 2 seasons this weekend alone because, as I said, I was sick and wasn't up to doing much else. Pause. But yeah, I had a good weekend. It was a decent weekend for sales. I have lots of other things I do want to do into future events, and I also just am thriving off all of the wholesome interactions with both people coming to my table, also running into like friends and stuff who didn't know that I was going to be at the event and I didn't know that they were going to be walking around, which is always fun as well. And also just, yeah, getting to meet other artists and those interactions. Like it's all just been so wholesome, and I just definitely no regrets in deciding to push myself to get into doing this last year. I guess some other little fun facts. My crochet stuff continues to be pretty successful. I took a whole bunch of new crochet stuff with me, and I don't have that much left. I think I have a few bees, 2 dinosaurs, and 1 small frog. I think that's all that was left at the end of the weekend. But yeah, I continue to sell the most bees more than anything else. But people have also been really liking the penguins. I also made some small frogs for the first time at this convention. People really liked the green ones. Nobody bought the pink one though. No love for the pink frog. And just other bits and pieces. As I said, I sold out of the blind mag print, which was pretty cool. I sold a bunch of Furby stickers, which that always, I don't know, things that I drew purely for me and because they were nostalgic for me. The fact they connect with other people is just kind of cool to me as well. Like I only drew Furby originally, like this was like a lot of the stuff I have at my table is stuff I drew before I started doing artist alleys, and they were just stuff I was like, oh yeah, that could be a sticker, oh that could be a print. So this is something I drew just because this is my Furby that I still own. I still own my Furby from my childhood. So this green Furby is my Furby that I decided to draw, made it into a sticker, and like heaps of people have been buying that sticker. So live on, Furby. And I also sold a lot of Avatar stuff. I have a few Avatar The Last Airbender stickers, and I also sold some of the ARPA like keychains, charms. So that's fun too. Props to Nathan, I guess, because he was the one who wanted me to draw more Avatar The Last Airbender stuff. Because it's his favorite show. But anyway, yeah, I guess we'll leave it at, I had a good weekend. I know there were issues with the event. I think I got lucky with being moved last minute, actually, because I think my placement was better, but it wasn't great for everyone. But I'm just continuing to really enjoy tabling at events in general. And my next event that I'll be selling at is Supernova Melbourne. I will be at the Game Expo before that, but I'm not tabling. I'm going as a content creator, not an artist, which does also mean I have a code if anyone's in Melbourne wanting to go to another convention, another gaming convention, TGX, the Game Expo. You can use the code StarzyRose, which will get you 5% off your tickets, because as I said, I'll be there as a creator. But otherwise, yeah, next place I'll be selling is Supernova. And I got lots to do. I'm too busy and working full time and... But anyways, I feel like I've been rambling too long already. I'm sure I had lots of other thoughts about the event, but as I said, a week has passed since then. But yeah, I will continue making little videos at all the events I go to. Let me know if there's particular things you think that I should draw or make, if you have a particular favorite fandom, character, etc. Otherwise, for those in Melbourne, I'm sure I will see you around if you attend events, and otherwise, teach your fan and stars, yeah.